Hi there and welcome. This is Book of Mormon Reader. Feeling a little chilly today on December 19th as I record this. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm feeling in the little spirit. Haven't really been doing a lot of Christmas stuff today, but for some reason I feel in a festive mood. So welcome, and I do have something fun to share with you today, which I would like to. I want to test this out because something that I just discovered, and I want to make sure that I do it before I forget, because once I get into the scripture and I start talking, I don't know where the time goes. So I want to talk about something that's great. One of the things that I love to do is totally encompassed in the 13th article of faith of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which talks about seeking out good things. We believe all things, we hope all things, we have endured many things, and if there's anything virtuous, lovely, or of good report or praiseworthy, we seek after these things. So I discovered something that I am so excited about. I can't even tell you, but I contacted the company because it's just what I have been looking for. And so I thought maybe this is something that you're looking for too. And what it is completely customized scriptures. Now, for many reasons, you might go on a search for customized scriptures. If you look at the distribution center, they offer a good selection of scriptures. They come in several colors. Navy blue, black, and burgundy, I think, are their choices. Some of them come in green. I'm not sure. But none of them float my boat. They just, I don't know, they just don't sing to me. And because I have come to a place in my life where I am going to invest in another set of scriptures for a couple of different reasons, I went on a huge search, and I thought, well, I'm going to customize and get the extra big ones because I'm starting to have to wear glasses to read. And then maybe what I'll do is customize a cover for them and use like a laptop cover, and that's how I'll do it. And I'll break it apart and I'll put it in a binder, and that way there'll be plenty of room in the margins to write. Because I got to tell you something, I cannot get into the ebook phenomenon. I just can't. I like having, a book in front of me when I mark. Now, of course, having said that, out of the other side of my mouth, here I am reading an, online version like a teleprompter. But I'm talking about for my own, when I, sink my teeth into it and I start marking things and I share things, and I have these cute little stickers that I put in sometimes, and I just don't think there's anything that replaces an actual paper, something to hold in your hands, a book. I have copies all over in my house too, and I sit down here, I read a chapter here, I go there, I read a chapter there. So I'm one of those who I have multiple copies of the scriptures in different places. However, one time, and somebody on Twitter had mentioned that someone stole their scriptures, and it reminded me, oh man, that happened to me too several years ago. My car was parked in a parking lot, and we were there to watch a ball game. And when I came back, my window was busted. And at that time, I was teaching seminary, and I had my scriptures in a Mary Kay bag behind the driver's seat. And inside this Mary Kay bag were my just freshly marked set of scriptures with all the new scripture mastery ones done. And I had used them a little while, but I had just gotten the larger version of scriptures. And so here I was, I graduated into them, and I can't even tell you how many hours I spent marking these scriptures, and got all my new scripture mastery scriptures all marked in there. And darned if they didn't steal those. I was so upset. I thought, you have got to be kidding me. Somebody stole my scriptures. Now, granted, maybe they just reached in there and they thought they were going to get some Mary Kay product and, didn't realize that. But another thing that was in there, I had gone to the school district and I had all these different kind of cutouts, little apples, little triangles, little squares, little teeny tiny ones, and they were like currency in my class at the time for, like, if you had read your chapter, you get one of these little shapes or something. And that took me hours to do too. And I was like, I can't believe it. I can replace my scriptures, but those little shapes, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with those? So anyway, I was so upset. My scriptures were stolen. And later I found in the street, because we, cased the place up and down because things were strewn about. And my Book of Mormon was recovered, but my Bible wasn't. And I sort of shook my fist in the air and I went, "You're so good!" Like, darn it, I hope you read those scriptures. And I just thought, how odd, someone would steal scriptures of all things and then maintain them. I mean, hold on to them. Maybe some consciousness of their guilt will someday come. And I hope they read them. And for whatever reason that person felt to break in my car, I don't know, we don't know what goes on in people's heads when they commit crimes. However, that is one time when I had to go and repurchase scriptures. Another time I had gotten divorced and I changed my name. And then I got married and I changed my name again. And it was just like, good heavens, why is this such a frustrating thing for me? But anyway, be that as it may, I was able to find customized LDS scriptures, which all kinds of colors, pink, purple, white, different colors, two-tone, red and white. They'll take your old scriptures and bind them again, and they'll re-gild the edges if you want to. Can you imagine what a wonderful service this is? This is incredible. And then metaphorically speaking, or, symbolically and actually physically, what are the scriptures are for us? They're customized for us. Every time we crack open the scriptures, you and I can read the same verse and receive something totally different out of it. And so in that way, our scriptures are customized to us. And what a wonderful thing to be able to say, I love my scriptures, and have them actually be different too, that you love them. So I want to play a little something for you that I asked the owners if they would send to me, because this time of giving, what a wonderful gift to give somebody a personalized, customized scriptures in their favorite colors. And so I'm gonna see if this works. So let me just shut my mouth for a minute and I'll play this, and then I'll come back and do the business of the day. Okay? So here we go. Let me try this other audio. Customized scriptures.
CustomLDSScriptures.com can make your scriptures as personal and as unique as you are. CustomLDSScriptures.com offers custom-bound scriptures in over 55 different colors not offered anywhere else. Have you thought about having pink scriptures? What about a classic white leather quad? Purple, orange, brown, or yellow, we can make your scriptures the way you want them to look. How about two colors combined? A white and blue quad for your BYU student? Red and white Book of Mormon for a Ute fan? Over 3,000 color combinations available to choose from. Visit CustomLDSScriptures.com for pictures and pricing, or visit us on Facebook. Custom LDS Scriptures only uses top-quality, genuine leathers. See why Janice Cap Perry trusted her scriptures to Custom LDS Scriptures. Custom LDS Scriptures also make a great baptism, Mother's Day, mission, or wedding gift. See the possibilities at CustomLDSScriptures.com.
Isn't that exciting? But I mean, really, the possibilities are endless, and it's an exciting product, and I just want to share. They are a little bit pricey, but believe me, if you're invested into the scriptures, we spend our time and we spend our money on things that we value. So really, this is a bargain to get something that you're just going to absolutely come to treasure, even more than even more as time goes by. We, for those of us who love the scriptures, What could be better than loving the scriptures, than loving even how they look, not that they're a fashion statement by any means, but that they're customized for you, like the content becomes almost magical as we read it. So hopefully that works out, and I wanted to share that with you because I gotta tell you, I just was so thrilled. And in the time coming, I said, maybe I can actually go to the place where they make them and video having mine redone or the new ones or something, because I just really want to help these people out. I love when a business is so creative, and I love to support things like this. And I don't want to see something that's so wonderful go out of business. So this is one thing that I would like to recommend. I absolutely want to recommend it. So hopefully you'll get to check them out on Facebook, check out their beautiful colors, and check out their website, and just enjoy it. Have fun with it. All right, now, for the business of the day, we got Mormon 6, which is an unbelievable chapter. And I got to tell you, when I was looking on the web this morning, getting ready to search for something, I remembered seeing a video of this, and I totally got sidetracked, and I found some wonderful things, which I'm gonna talk about another website that I discovered, which it's so great. It's just so great. So I'm gonna try and include things that I really, really love to share with you to enhance and expand and magnify your own experience, as these resources have come to me and done the same for me. So hopefully we can get some dialogue going. And if you find things that you absolutely love, please do let me know too, and that way I can pass them along and share them, and leverage my voice to include as many wonderful things as possible. Because believe me, in today's day and age, having a voice is a hard thing to listen, make sure that you get listened to with all the cacophony and all the other voices out there. The ones that we choose to listen to should be very precious to us. So anyway, so thank you for listening to mine, and I appreciate yours also. So after all that blah blah blah, here we go. The Book of Mormon, chapter 6. Now I finish my record concerning the destruction of my people, the Nephites. And it came to pass that we did march forth before the Lamanites. And I, Mormon, wrote an epistle unto the king of the Lamanites, and desired of him that he would grant unto us that we might gather together our people unto the land of Gomorrah, by a hill which was called Gomorrah, and there we could give them battle. And it came to pass that the king of the Lamanites did grant unto me the thing which I desired. And it came to pass that we did march forth to the land of Gomorrah, and we did pitch our tents around about the hill Gomorrah. And it was in a land of many waters, rivers, and fountains. And here we had hoped to gain advantage over the Lamanites. And when 384 years had passed away, we had gathered in all the remainder of our people unto the land of Gomorrah. And it came to pass that when we had gathered in all our people in one to the land of Gomorrah, behold, I, Mormon, began to be old, and knowing it to be the last struggle of my people, and having been commanded of the Lord that I should not suffer the records which had been handed down by our fathers, which were sacred, to fall into the hands of the Lamanites, for the Lamanites would destroy them. Therefore I made this record out of the plates of Nephi, and hid up in the hill Gomorrah all the records which had been entrusted to me by the hand of the Lord, save it were these few plates, which I gave unto my son Moroni. And it came to pass that my people with their wives and their children did now behold the armies of the Lamanites marching towards them, and with that awful fear of death which fills the breasts of all the wicked, did they await to receive them. And it came to pass that they came to battle against us, And every soul was filled with terror because of the greatness of their numbers. And it came to pass that they did fall upon my people with the sword, and with the bow, and with the arrow, and with the axe, and with all manner of weapons of war. And it came to pass that my men were hewn down, yea, even my 10,000, who were with me, and I fell wounded in the midst. And they passed by me, that they did not put an end to my life. And when they had gone through and hewn down all my people, save it were 24 of us, among whom was my son Moroni, and we having survived the dead of our people, did behold on the morrow, when the Lamanites had returned unto their camps, from the top of the hill Cumorah, the 10,000 of my people, who were hewn down, being led in the front by me. And we also beheld the 10,000 of my people, who were led by my son Moroni. And behold, the 10,000 of Gidgiddonah had fallen, and he also in the midst. And Lamah had fallen with his 10,000, and Gilgal had fallen with his 10,000, and Limhah had fallen with his 10,000, and Jenaam had fallen with his 10,000, and Cumanihah, and Moronihah, and Antionam, and Shiblam, and Shem, and Josh had fallen with their 10,000 each. And it came to pass that there were 10 more who did fall by the sword, with their 10,000 each, yea, even all my people, save it were those 24 who were with me, and also a few who had escaped into the south countries, and a few who had deserted over unto the Lamanites had fallen, and their flesh and bones and blood lay upon the face of the earth, being left by the hands of those who slew them, to moulder upon the land, and to crumble, and to return to their mother earth. And my soul was rent with anguish because of the slain of my people. And I cried, O ye fair ones, how could ye have departed from the ways of the Lord? O ye fair ones, how could ye have rejected that Jesus who stood with open arms to receive you? Behold, if ye had not done this, ye would not have fallen. But behold, ye are fallen, and I mourn your loss. O ye fair sons and daughters, ye fathers and mothers, ye husbands and wives, ye fair ones, how is it that ye could have fallen? But behold, ye are gone, and my sorrows cannot bring your return. And the day soon cometh that your mortal must put on immortality, and these bodies which are now mouldering in corruption must soon become incorruptible bodies. And then ye must stand before the judgment seat of Christ, to be judged according to your works. And if it so be that ye are righteous, then are ye blessed with your fathers who have gone before you. Oh, that ye had repented before this great destruction had come upon you! But behold, ye are gone, and the Father, yea, the eternal Father of heaven, knoweth your state, and he doeth with you according to his justice and mercy. Wow, this portion of Mormon, I will never forget this video. It's an incredible video, and that's why I was trying to find it this morning. I also heard a male voice reading this chapter, and I thought that's way better than mine for this chapter, because it's from the voice of Mormon himself. There's also really there's a picture. There's not too many pictures in some of the copies of the Book of Mormon that have pictures in them, and this is one of them where he looks over the land. And while I was reading here, I was trying to count with my hands, and I ended up running out of fingers. But it looks like it's about 200,000 people were killed, and all their carnage and bodies just, I mean, I can't even imagine I just can't even imagine this. As as horrifying as this scene is, I can't imagine these my people, and that's why he's lamenting so. One thing that is way too close for comfort that I did hear recently, a first-hand account of the horrible massacre at Sandy Hook Elementary in Connecticut. And some kids were saying that as they were running out, they had to run over the bodies of these slain children, a mere 6 years old, and how horrifying that is. And so the scene of that, I mean, as horrible as that is to visit, I think we need to visit it. I think we need to be honest about what it will take that these things don't happen. And that's what Mormon was experiencing. He's crying, screaming, and he says, anguish, how could ye have departed from the ways of the Lord? Which means, they must have been, were they evil, or did they just depart from the ways of the Lord? When I think about, what could this kid have been thinking who was killing these people? One of the first-hand accounts I listened to on Greta, on the record, Greta Van Susteren, was this teacher who said for 20 to 25 minutes she heard those noises. Pop, 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 pop. And then it stopped for a little bit, and then it continued. 20 to 25 minutes. They kept on keeping on shooting these kids. And, I'm thinking, here they're trying to come up with legislation to take guns out of the hands of criminals so that this kind of tragedy won't happen. Well, I got news for you. What they need to do is arm the teachers and make sure that it's a requirement that all the teachers need to be trained and have a gun next to their first aid kit. As a teacher myself, I had to take first aid classes. Why don't they require taking, weaponry classes and learning how to shoot a gun and having that be a standard thing inside their classroom, that they have a gun on campus? Because believe me, banning assault rifles is not the answer. Even having a guard on campus would not be the answer, just one single one. Think about how many, he goes in, boom, one guard could be down. And if all these teachers had been trained and had the equipment on hand to have a gun there to defend those defenseless children, instead of, hovering and hoping they wouldn't be killed next. It's unbelievable. And here we are, we're listening to Mormon talk about this horrible scene. Not a single one of those guys had guns. It didn't stop them from killing. Guns is, banning guns is not the answer. What they're talking about, which is the answer, is departing from the ways of the Lord and people becoming evil. That's the problem here. And here he's lived through this horrible thing to recount this scene, as we have just seen in the news, this poor teacher and other children and parents recounting the scene of their horrible thing. Well, as much as our hearts are broken, you can imagine, that's 20. This is 200,000 or more people strewn upon the earth that he has had to witness. And one lady, I guess, called in this radio show, and she said, I cannot stop crying. I cannot stop crying. I don't know what to do to get on. There's anger, there's sadness, there's, horror. And regardless of whatever the problem was with this kid, he's not the only one who's done something like this. And, interesting, the lawmakers who are saying ban guns. Guess what? All of them have security detail. We can sure put armed guards in our banks and guard our money, but what about our precious children? This is a problem. There's no question that this is a problem. And this is when you can see how politics do affect our lives, how voting does make a difference. And elections have consequences. So if you're not ever, I don't know what your stance is on all of those things, but I don't think banning weapons is going to be the answer, because the criminals are the ones who somehow get their hands on it. What they need to do is arm the people who are in a position to be, the protectors and defenders, and not just educators of our children. Believe me, I had to spend money and I had to spend time to take a first aid class to treat people who, were hurt. Why not defend them so they don't get hurt in the first place? That seems to me a reasonable solution to an otherwise absolutely horrifying problem. Then he goes on to say in verse 22, "Oh, that ye had repented before this great destruction had come upon you." Because he sees, again, the whole soul of this person. And then he says, guess what? You're going to have to stand before the judgment seat of Christ, and you will be judged according to your works. Yeah, you're going to be raised, you're going to be immortal, but then there's going to be a judgment which determines where you'll go. Again, this takes us back to the plan of salvation. When you die, what happens to your soul? Where do you go before this judgment seat? And then after the judgment seat, when you're resurrected and you're immortal, where does your body go then? These are questions that if you've never pondered them before, there's a lot out there. And quite frankly, I listened to a scholar this morning talk about different things, wonder, you know what? If you claim to be a member of this church, or you claim to be a spiritual person or a religious person, studying the scriptures is how you get it. How can you teach it if you don't know it? You need to know the doctrine. You need to study. You have to commit to invest in scripture study and understanding the Bible and understanding the other standard works that we have been given. We need to study the words of the prophets, both ancient and modern. We have a living prophet today. Do you know how incredible that is, to know we have a living prophet who is, a living oracle, to be the mouthpiece of God? Does that make me sound like I'm crazy because I believe in a prophet? Well, they all believed in prophets then, and all those things came true. Why is that so hard to believe, if God is unchanging, that we would have living prophets today? This is I hope you find the video on this, because this is an incredible first-hand account of somebody who witnessed absolute horror of the people that he loved. And he is reaching out to us today and saying, please don't bring this demise upon you that I saw take place on my children. And his answer is to be righteous. No matter how much we cry, couldn't bring him back, to depart from sin and become righteous. With that, I want to end, and I thank you so much for listening today, and thanks for listening to my impassioned rant. But believe me, this is something that it is loaded with emotion, and there are things that we can do. So thank you again for listening. Mormon 6, check out the video if I can find it. I'll try to include a link. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow with Mormon 5. Bye.